All right. Welcome, everyone. This is Isaac with Hunger Smash Fitness and my co host, John at My Block Strongest Man. And today we have the amazing and overnight popular Scott Baker on the live stream today. So maybe I'll start off with the video of the lift and then we can go into that. Or do you want to start off with more of your strongman career and background and go from that perspective?
You might as well just go ahead and play the video right off the bat.
All right, let's show the video here, and we'll bring this up. Where'd it go?
Scott, you must be a YouTuber. You know all about maintaining audience retention, huh?
Yeah. Right? Oh, man, I just had it ready to go. Let's get this going. Here we go. So this is the lift that got you incredibly famous and popular and heavily disputed overnight. Was bouncing it was a world record attempt, right? For
it was a Pennsylvania and New Jersey state record.
Okay, gotcha.
So not quite as glamorous as world record, but
still an incredible lift for your weight though, because it's 520 at 164 pounds body weight.
That was the lift, yeah.
Yeah. So let's go into this a little bit. Is this the first time you've bounced a deadlift, or have you trained this way in the past?
That was the first time I've ever bounced a 1 rep deadlift. I've only ever bounced a deadlift on, like, if I'm trying to squeeze out a couple of reps in a situation where, you know, you're going for reps in a minute or an AMRAP in training or something like that.
Right.
So this was a yeah, right. Yeah. So this was a first for me.
I think it's the first I've ever actually seen someone bounce a deadlift. It almost looked like you bounced it to bounce through your sticking point, basically.
That is exactly what happened. I have wanted to try this for a long time. Because my sticking point, like when I first started lifting, my sticking, like I'd be stapled to the floor. I would never get the lift. Just wouldn't. If it wasn't gonna go, it wasn't gonna go. At some point after I started training, I got to that, like, I don't know, 13-inch mark or whatever it might be, somewhere just below the knee, and I would sit there and like jackhammer, and no matter what, it would freeze there, and then I would fail.
Right.
So for a while now, I've wondered, like, I wonder if you could translate that bounce for like extra reps into, if you get it up to the knees, if you slow it back down, if you could get enough off of that, like just 2 or 3 inches of momentum to burst through the sticking point. And in this situation, it worked. I think it was like a perfect storm that I've heard people say.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Well, it's one of those things where personally, I've never seen someone attempt a deadlift like this before. So as soon as I saw it, it immediately caught my attention. Just because, I've seen people hitch through it. I've seen people, all sorts of stuff. And obviously powerlifting rules are very different from strongman rules. And so this type of lift has not been allowed in powerlifting for a long time.
Right. Nothing about this lift is allowed in powerlifting.
Yeah, exactly. But did they let you keep the record?
They did not. Well, this was my third attempt. The first 2 attempts, I did 450 and 500. They were both very standard looking deadlifts, no hitch, nothing. This was the one that didn't work out for me like the rest, and I thought that it would have. So I'm not, like, whether or not, like, I've watched the video, like you can imagine, a whole lot of times just to see if I could see like what happened. I don't know. I might, like, I know I pushed the bar away from me a little bit before during my setup, like when I bent down, and so I was pulling it out and into me. Could have been any number of things. I've seen people, I think and wildly enough, I've seen like a ton of people discussing the mechanics of it.
Yeah. Well, and from, I mean, like, because I work in physical therapy, and so from biomechanics standpoint and everything, I don't like it just because the sudden stress. I see too many chances for something to go wrong. Like if you don't stay tight,
for sure.
like it'd be so easy to damage your lumbar spine or your hip or whatever else. But your bar path stayed fairly consistent throughout. Your form stayed fairly consistent throughout. And so it's clear that you're a fairly experienced deadlifter, because even with that, everything's stayed fairly steady, I guess. But yeah, it's interesting because you can see how it stops just below the base of your kneecap there, and then with the bounce, it comes about an inch and a half above where it had stopped before.
Exactly, yeah, and just that little bit is the spot that gets me every time. So, in this instance, it worked.
Does it have anything to do with the rubber mats? Because I was talking to Isaac about this.
I was waiting for the question.
Yeah, I was talking to Isaac about this a few days ago, half jokingly, but half not. Like if I tried this near my max, the weight would stop at the ground. Like I wouldn't be able to bounce it. So I'm just wondering what are all the parameters that went into this working successfully?
And this wasn't thought about prior, but this was another thing that I had seen people talking about afterwards, including people that were at the show. There was no platform here, obviously. It was 2 rubber horse stall mats on top of like some casino old carpeting. So there was nothing to absorb any of the momentum. And I think maybe that it did just provide the actual bounce that you would get that you wouldn't have gotten had this been like a traditional platform with plywood in it. I don't know.
Yeah, I would just crack my garage concrete floor.
Yeah, very, very interesting. Very interesting lift. I will say that at the bare minimum. So you've obviously been deadlifting for a little while, considering all that. Yeah. So maybe now we'll go ahead and take a step back and discuss how did you get into Strongman, and what was the build up to this? Where do you want to start with that? I guess.
I mean, I've been lifting for since high school, like a lot of people. I'm 36 now, so a solid like 20 years. Okay. Most of the time, just not knowing what I was doing. General fitness lifting, nothing necessarily strength related. I'm a police officer by trade, so there's a lot of like physical fitness that's involved. Just getting ready and
sure.
Academy stuff and just general strength and functional strength. When I was in college, I had a professor of one of my freshman orientation or freshman seminar classes. I don't know what it was called. That was big into Strongman. And then as like just a job, I was a freelance journalist. So I would go around and go to local events and take pictures and interview people. And I happened to run into the guy at one of the college functions that they were doing that I was there to do photography for. And he had a Strongman booth set up as a fundraiser for a domestic violence charity. And so I recognized him, obviously. So we started chatting. We became like friendly after that. And I started going down, and he's got a little gym that I started training at, New Jersey Muscle. And years went by, and we just maintained a friendship and would lift together. And then last year, my wife and I were kind of looking for something to do together as a hobby. And Rob, the guy that ran this gym, had kind of retired from Strongman maybe like 10 years before, after a couple of knee surgeries and some other things. And he was itching to do it again too. And then we all kind of got together and said, well, why don't we, we're not getting any younger. Let's just do this. We'll go have some fun. And it's like a hobby we can all do together. We got like a nice little group of friends that are local, and we can travel around and do some shows. And that's basically, we all did our first, or my wife and I did our first show with Dan Falcone in Lancaster in August of last year. It got canceled a few times over the spring and summer, obviously with everything going on. So yeah, our first show was August of last year, about like, 15 months ago. And since then we've been kind of maybe even too steady with actually competing.
Yeah. So may I ask, whereabouts in Jersey are you based? You don't have to say exactly where your back cave is, but maybe county, because I'm in Bergen County.
I don't know if that's just on my end or that was something on you. I didn't understand. That was like a lot of feedback there.
Oh, I was just asking you. You mentioned Jersey. Where in Jersey are you based? Just doesn't have to be exact, but maybe county wise.
Hang on one sec for me.
Isaac, you hear me all right?
Yeah, he was just asking which county you're based in New Jersey, because he's in Bergen County.
Oh, we're in Warren County.
Okay, cool, nice.
You guys do sound like you're like it's slowing down, so I think that's probably my internet connection. Give me one.
Uh-oh.
I could just speak slowly. Yeah, well, he gets that fixed. It's awesome because it seems like I keep running into more and more great athletes from New Jersey these days.
I know. What's up with, well, I guess East Coast has always been, it's always had a bigger strongman game than West Coast, I guess. But
I guess so, yeah. I mean, we have Tyler Cotton, Johnny Waz, Frank Provenzano, Anthony San Lorenzo's originally from this area, is in Colorado now. But yeah, we got a lot of great strongmen from Jersey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no kidding.
Can you guys still hear me?
Yep,
I can. Yep, I can.
Okay, you're a little distorted, but I'll try to make it work. I don't know. I just switched off of my Wi-Fi and onto data, but nothing changed. So we'll wing it. But yeah, I'm in Northwest New Jersey in Warren County.
Okay. Yeah, I'm northeast in Bergen County, so near the GW Bridge for me.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
So how many competitions have you done now? Because you said, so you kind of started more towards the end of last year. So you're newer to strongman.
Yeah, I had 3 last year, and then this year, this Clash of the Tridents in October, where this lift happened, would have been my 5th of the year. Which is a lot.
Until, I mean, I know some of the pros, some of them do a show every 6 weeks or something, it seems like, some of those guys. But also, if you're actually making money from it, it's a little bit different. When you're paying to do everything, there's not really much hope in actually making a profit. It's
luckily, like you guys were, like you were saying, we have a lot of shows very close. The furthest that I've gone is probably 2 hours. And that's a stretch. Like most of the time it's like 75 minutes to an hour and a half. Like that seems to be like a nice little sweet spot where we can have shows in Jersey, we can go to New York, we can go to Pennsylvania. And it seems like every other weekend there's something happening somewhere in this area. So I feel like I'm very lucky in that regard.
What'd you think of Clash of the Tridents overall? Liz D'Amato is a good friend of the show here, so hopefully you have positive things to say.
Oh, she did. She knocked it. I thought she knocked it out of the park on this one. It was for an amateur athlete. We've done a lot of her shows in the past. She runs very good shows. She runs very big shows. And most of the events are fun. She always throws some like non-standard things in there. But as an amateur athlete, this one felt like we had like a professional athlete feel, where we stayed right at the place that we were doing the show. We rode the elevator down and we were on the contest. Like the whole setup of it, I thought was amazing.
That's awesome. And there's been a lot of focus on the deadlift. What other events did you do?
I lose you guys again? You still here?
Yeah, we hear you, or I hear you anyway.
Oh, there we are.
Yep. Yeah, I was saying, if you can hear me, I was saying there's been a lot of focus on the deadlift. What other events did you participate in?
We had a sandbag and a yoke medley. We had a circus dumbbell for reps, a truck pull out on the boardwalk, a fingle finger, and what was the last one? Oh, the deadlift. Oh, and here's the rest of the post. Yeah.
Wow, I would have given anything to watch you do a truck pull on the boardwalk. That must have been awesome.
Yeah, it was. I guess they ran into a little bit of an issue with the weight of the vehicle that. Once they got there, they were told that they were too heavy for the boardwalk weight restrictions, and they had to lighten it. And I think everybody had overtrained for that one, and it ended up being a very quick speed event. But yeah, still very fun overall, and especially with the crowd that was occasionally walking down the boardwalk, just picking up people and watching what was going on. It was pretty wild.
Nice. Wow. Giving it a heck of an effort.
Yes. Yeah. Like I said, it was a very fast event. And much, much lighter than I think anybody all day had anticipated on. At no fault of anybody except circumstances with the weight limit that I don't know if anybody was aware of.
It's the boardwalk engineers' fault.
Yes, that's it. They could have engineered a little better, bolstered up some support.
I always enjoy circus as well.
Oh, I don't.
I don't run into a lot of people who do.
Loves a heavy circus dumbbell.
Yeah, basically, I've run into two people who like circus dumbbell: Anthony San Lorenzo and Leifa Ingles,
who's actually a teammate of mine on Terry Rady's coaching team.
Who Anthony is?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. He's an awesome guy. Also a great friend of the show.
I haven't met him yet, but it's definitely on the list when we get out to Colorado.
Yeah, he's in Colorado now. He's originally from this area, but
okay.
I've interviewed him before. That's kind of how we connected. How could I forget? Marcus Crowder loves his circus dumbbell too.
Right. Yeah, it's not a. I've never done it and had it go pleasantly, but give it the old college try every time.
Well, I was going to say too. Speaking of Anthony San Lorenzo, he and Anthony Furman are supposed to come on in 2 or 3 weeks, so we'll have to mention you to him as well, or
all
mention, right. Yeah. But he's a great guy. He's come on a couple times already.
Yeah, everybody that I've had any sort of interaction with in the training group or in the coaching group has been awesome and really supportive overall.
Yeah, tell us more about that coaching group. How did that come together, and kind of what's the mission there? Oh, I think we froze up again.
Yeah, I got you now.
Okay. Yeah, I was saying, what is that coaching group all about? How did that all come together, and kind of what's the mission there?
Well, it's just clients of Terry's. So we have a group chat that everybody is welcome to join and can just be part of a team, which is nice for us because we train out of my garage a lot of times, and we don't really get the atmosphere that a lot of people that have some good strongman gyms with a lot of people training at them get. So it's nice to have a little bit of a support group.
Yeah, I mean, if you're training out of your garage, I have to recommend a friend of mine. He's actually sponsors a lot of my live streams as well. John over at Garage Gym Life Media. He might be interested in your story. He loves exposing the world to great garage gyms. So maybe you want to reach out.
That's good to know.
Yeah,
it has.
Yeah.
We definitely have put together quite a collection of implements and given our space constraints, speaking of engineering, we're not doing too bad as far as it's just a little Tetris-y, moving in between movements, but we make it work.
Yeah, I'll put you guys together. I think he'll be interested in your in seeing what you got.
Nice. He a local guy too?
He's down in Georgia.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah. Yeah, but he does a lot of great live streams. So he's live streamed Mammoth Strength Challenge last year, Central Georgia Strongest Man. He just was participating in Static Monsters recently. So he does a lot of really, really awesome live streams.
Okay. Yeah, we were down in Static Monsters last week supporting some friends. Didn't compete in that one, but knew a lot of people down in the Jersey location.
Yeah, I heard Gabe Pena did some great stuff down there. Broke a what was it, a 16 3/4 inch deadlift world record or something like that.
Yeah, it's just the actual deadlift. I think there's like a range of like 16 3/4 to 17 3/4.
Okay.
But yeah, I think he broke it twice. As a matter of fact, I don't know that.
Did he really? Wow. He's another great guy that I've interviewed. Awesome guy.
Yeah, he actually had some. Well, we've never spoken personally, but he commented positively on the deadlift video, which was nice to see.
Oh, did he really? That's cool.
Yeah.
So, how was the overall response to the deadlift video? I know, like from my experience, because I reposted your video and everything too, and it was really interesting because some people commented on it, and a lot of people just messaged me, and some people thought it was the coolest thing ever. Like I said, some people thought it was the worst idea ever. What's been the general response, I guess? Has it been mostly positive?
Personally, it has. Anybody that's reached out to me directly has been super positive about it. I picked up I don't know, I'm not a huge Instagram user, but I picked up like 60 or 70 new followers, like people reaching out from all over the world. They had like world record deadlifters in like the 80 kilo class and 90 kilo class, like the women's overall world record deadlifter, all like messaging me. And again, all very, all positive. A lot of positive comments from people that I would have never expected to hear from. Most of the negative was on the Deadlift Till I'm Dead page, which I expected because I've seen the Deadlift Till I'm Dead page before, and there's usually a lot of negative comments on there, so I'm not surprised. And the guy that runs that did ask me before he posted it. He's like, "Hey, just so you know, do you mind if I put it up there?" And I was like, "No, absolutely. I tagged you in it for a reason. You're more than welcome." But out of that, I was able to get some like really cool comments from people that I've never would have expected to hear from. And I actually took some of those and made the video you'd see on my Instagram after that with like the black and white, and I put some quotes in there, and like so like all the people that not everybody, but a lot of the people that I would have never expected to hear from and like was touched by, I put that all in there just because I thought it was cool and soaking up my 15 minutes. Yeah, that's the one.
That's fantastic that you even got Gabe Pena to comment on it too, and Travis Ormeyer saw that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, they were both on the Deadlift Till I'm Dead page.
Yeah, Travis is I think we can safely say Travis is a good friend of the show. He's been on a lot of times.
Travis is one of the best friends of the show. Yeah.
Yeah. I always get super happy when he's one of the ones who likes one of my posts. I'm like, yeah, finally making it in the real world.
My claim to fame is I tell Isaac, like, my strongman training is I like going on trails in the woods and lifting stones and logs that I find along the way. So I happened to buy a scale. And so I weighed one of the stones and it was a few pounds over my body weight. and I was able to load it over. There was like this old piece of concrete in the woods, so I was able to load it on there. And so I DM'd Travis right away. I'm like, I loaded this. It's like just above my body weight. Is this good? And he's like, F yeah, man.
He's a very positive guy overall.
Yeah.
Are you still there? It froze up, Scott.
I am here. We did freeze up for a little bit again, but I think we're back running now.
Okay. Yeah, video's frozen, but we can hear you. So I was just wondering about the aftermath. So after that lift, did USS change or implement any rules, or is it just left as is and this can be done going forward?
Okay, yeah. So they implemented a new rule. USS, I know, did. Static Monsters Worldwide implemented a new rule. I don't know if Strongman Corporation did or not. They did strip me of that lift on the record attempt, which got bumped back to the 500 that I had gotten on my second attempt cleanly. And they basically said like that's never going to happen again, which I'm kind of touched by.
You're part of history.
And people said like, part of the company that I'm in now, people that have had rules created after them is beyond anything I think I would have ever accomplished in this sport otherwise, especially like as a lightweight guy that's just like an amateur hobbyist.
Shows that you're succeeding when you start having rules named after you.
Right.
There you go.
Doing something wrong, doing something right. I don't know, but like I guess any publicity is good publicity, they say.
In strongman, yes. In law enforcement, probably not. So maybe keep those separate.
Touche.
Yeah. I know I was in the military for a while, and they always have lots of different sayings about, being the gray man, don't do anything to stand out, don't do, all that. And looking back, I'm like, it makes sense, in that type of atmosphere. If you mess up when you're wearing the uniform, yeah, I can understand that. But in strongman, whatever you can do to gain publicity, go for it.
There's a saying in police work that night shift creates policy. And as a guy that's been on night shift for 6 years, like here I am, like now in my hobby now outside of work, I'm creating policy too. So
Hey Scott, I got to ask you about your apocalypse outfit.
How'd
this come about?
I was training for a Hercules hold, or this might have been training for the farmer's hold. It was a grip event regardless. So I was just trying to hook up as much weight as I could to myself and hold weight at any angle that I could find to hold it out.
That's an interesting technique. I mean, because it makes sense to strengthen your grip. It's
actually one of the events that I have some success with are grip events.
Awesome. I know when we had, I think it was Bobby Thompson, when we had him on, he made a comment about grip work and how grip is kind of one of those funny things where you either have it now or you'll have it in like 2 years. It's something that you kind of have to work at for a long time to really make a difference. And then it doesn't really go away that quickly.
Yeah. Like it's been described to me as like old man strength. And that's you just build it up over time. And like, as the guy, like I'm usually one of the older guys in the lightweight crowd. So like everybody's, the grip events, he's got the old man strength.
What's your favorite event that you've come across so far in a competition?
Farmer's hold. That's probably just like farmer's walks, but the farmer's hold specifically because it's just the standard grip event. I've had a lot of success with, and I almost went down to Orlando for a national record breakers over the summer. Because I think the one event that I had done it at, I had beaten the national record by 20 seconds, I think, for my weight class, and we just didn't get a chance to go down and do it for a national judge. I like loading events. I did a max keg load at Beer Muscles a couple of what was it? August this year. And that was nice. A last man standing keg load, just get in the line and just keep going around. It was a lot of fun.
What'd you work up to with that? So it's just a keg load. So like just picking it up or holding it, or what was the
load over bar?
Load over bar. Okay.
Yeah. So it was I was successful at 285 and I missed 320. I got it like clanging into the bar and like just couldn't get it the couple of inches up over.
Keg's a funny one too, because depending on if it's water filled or sand filled or whatever, like they move differently.
Well, this was the loadable keg, the plate loadable keg. So they were just stacking every stacked another 35-pound plate in there, seal it back up, and the line would start again.
I can see that being fun.
Yeah.
Kegs, it's interesting because it kind of has the handle on the top and then on the bottom. I've had some where it has a really good lip that's easy to hang on to, and then others where it's almost flush with the bottom. So you basically don't have anything to hang on to on the bottom. So you're just trying to cradle it basically.
Yeah, that would be no good, but
especially at 164 pounds, that's twice your body weight that you're trying
right.
I was just wondering, among the lightweight crowd and strongman, is there somebody you've kind of modeled yourself after or looked at as a mentor, like Carl Sherry or Tommy Lavelle?
Tommy Lavelle. I actually hired as a coach. My first ever coach was Tommy Lavelle. And awesome. I started with him in January, and then once he started through the first show with him, and he's like, "Look, man, I'm sorry, I don't have the time anymore to do this. But once I'm done with I'm focusing on my own competitive career. But I'd love to have you back." But like as a guy that started competing later in life, I looked up to him as also a guy that started competing later in life, and then 3 years later, he's 38 years old and winning World's Strongest Man. So yeah, he's always been kind of like a role model for me in that regard. We go out, he's close enough that we were able to train with him, and I go out to his gym. And the next contest I'm signed up for, he's actually the promoter. So we'll be out there in February for Brooklyn's Strongest Man.
That's awesome. Yeah, I got to make my way out to one of those. That'll be a lot of fun. We've never had Tommy on the show yet, but from that group of friends, we've had Rebecca Lorch. So yes. she was awesome to have on.
Yeah, Beck is also doing my she did my weight cut plan for this deadlift attempt. She's my wife's nutritionist, and she's also co-promoting that show with Tommy in February.
Oh, that's awesome. Got to check that out. Do you know if they're streaming that at all?
We're reloading again. There you are.
Yep, no problem. I said, do you know if they're streaming that at all?
I doubt it, but I don't know.
All right.
So there's I think they've got they're up to 18 or 20 people signed up so far, and 7 of them are lightweight men, which is nice to see.
Cool. Yeah, so Isaac, fly on over. We'll grab a bunch of the New Jersey guys and take a car ride over to Brooklyn. And
yeah, you got to be really close if you're in Bergen.
Yeah, we're close. Yeah, I mean, I'm 8 miles from Manhattan, so Brooklyn.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Further. Yeah.
I know. I was gonna say you're lucky because I know around here the nearest contest that I have anywhere around here it's a little over an hour away, and they do it once a year. Other than that, I think all the contests are 6+ hours from me, so there's not really much strongman out here, which by default I am the strongman in the area. So
are you Northern California?
No, I'm up in Washington. I'm in
you're well north of there. Okay.
Yeah. So there's nothing out here. It's
we trained out in Oregon a few times. I forget what the gym was, but I think it's the gym that Oregon's Strongest Man is a trainer at. And we've got some friends out there, and we went and we're shocked. We were just in a rural gym in Central Oregon and found a bunch of strongman equipment. It was wild.
Yeah, Oregon actually has several pretty good gyms out there. And then
isn't Strong Bro Big Ronnie Oregon's Strongest Man currently?
I think so, or he might have been runner up. I don't remember.
I think he won a show in Washington as well, but I think he is Oregon's Strongest Man.
Yeah, I'm not sure who it was. They were just telling me that the guy that, and this was probably for like 4 years ago now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it'd be nice to live somewhere where strongman is a little bit more popular. I'm actually applying to several schools down in Texas, and like all the schools I've looked at, I'm like, wow, there's like 2 or 3 strongman gyms within 20 minutes of there. Like,
yeah, we vacationed in Austin this past summer, and it was like you could drive 10 minutes this way. You were at Big Tex. You could drive 10 minutes this way. It was Liberation Barber Club. 10 minutes this way. It was Lift ATX. It was like it was like you had a pick.
I know,
and they were all very well equipped.
Yeah.
And Isaac's going to just buy a house on purpose to be close to Trey Mitchell.
There we go. I know. I just, yeah, it's tough because like I go to just all the little community gyms out here, and they always have like 3 barbells and a hodgepodge of little stuff, and I'm like, all right, well, I can kind of make do with that, I guess.
Yeah.
So, oh well.
Yeah, the majority of our local gyms around here are just like bodybuilding focused, and it's just like how many Stairmasters can you jam into 100 square feet? And
yeah. Oh well. Well, what contest do you have coming up? Do you have any big contests coming up here, or?
I did. I'm done for the year. The next thing coming up, like I said, I mentioned was Brooklyn Strongest Valentine's Day weekend, and then for now there's Operation Strongman that's going to be in northeastern Pennsylvania, I think, and that's not until May. So there may be a Record Breakers in the middle of there. That's up. Todd Georgie is running one in upstate New York somewhere. New York Strong. And I may jump in that just to go and do a deadlift. Hopefully not have to bounce it. So again, if I do something in between those two, it's just going to be like a single lift or like a couple of different record breaker events.
Do you usually deadlift in a suit or just with a belt, or what's your preferred?
I bought the suit for this Clash of the Tridents comp. So this past year was the first I had ever used it, and then I haven't used it much. I had an 18-inch deadlift in Pennsylvania Strongest Man earlier in the summer. So we really focused on the high pulls, which I also used the suit for, and actually I got more out of it than I thought I would have. And then I had a basket deadlift at Beer Muscles. So I had done nothing but high pulls from like probably June, September. And then once I finally put the bar back on the floor and was using the suit, like it did have some good carryover. So I'm excited to see in the future what I'm actually able to pull with it once I get some more practice with it.
Yeah, I've never used a deadlift suit, but I know watching the videos of people trying to get into them and stuff, I'm like, all right, so it's one of those things where if you're going to use it, you better have a good deadlift plan in front of you to actually utilize the suit.
Mine is probably a size or two too big, and it slides on pretty easy. And then it's got the adjustable Velcro shoulder straps. So then you can kind of tailor it secondarily versus just the singlet type ones that you have to really squeeze yourself into. So I bought one that was a little big for the ease of convenience, and then give me a little bit of growing room should I ever.
Do you have plans on going up a weight class or anything, or are you pretty happy staying where you're at?
Yeah, I'm very happy as a lightweight. I think my body's very comfortable here, and I can live like a life where I would need to eat a lot. Like my metabolism is such that like I eat quite a bit already, and I'm very light. So again, at this level, I think I'm happy just where I'm at, and then even if I bump up to like 185 or something like that, I can cut to 181 or 175, and then dieting down to 165 for the big shows is well within reach.
Yeah, so as an experienced deadlifter, I have one more question, but real quick, I have to remind our audience members to make sure and like this stream, subscribe to Isaac here at Hunger Smash Fitness, and remember when this is all over to go over to my blog, Strongest Man, subscribe to me as well. And we're going to give Scott a chance toward the end in a minute or so to tell you how you can follow him and support him properly. But Scott, my question for you is, I don't know if you caught the Rogue Invitational at all, and I'm not going to ask the obvious question about the Whippy Elephant Bar deadlift. My question is, have you ever been in a competition where where you sort of had to declare your weights in that manner, and like when it's your turn, the weight on the bar never goes down, so you have to do the weight the guy before you did or more? And kind of what are your thoughts on that kind of setup for a deadlift competition?
That's kind of what there was the Tridents was 50-pound jumps, with the exception of if you were going for a record breaker attempt. So that was almost like you couldn't go down, and if you missed it, it was over. I've done some charity events with Granite Barbell that were just, you can declare a weight and then you can't go down, and then the bar never goes down. I don't think it's a bad idea, and it did help that event move a little. I did only watch the first day, so I'm a little behind. Tomorrow's going to be the day I watch day 2. But that seems to be the trend in the sport as well, is getting things to move faster than they have in the past.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't have an issue with that.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. After you catch up and watch all the Rogue, go watch all the videos I made about it to get some detailed analysis.
Yeah, I've been trying. Obviously, it's impossible to not know who won or placed, but I've been trying to just like plug the ears about like the overall events themselves.
Yeah, if you only have a few minutes of time, I did a video event by event, so you can watch them one by one.
There, one more refresh. There we are.
You're back?
Yep, that's it.
All right, cool. Go ahead, Isaac. I don't have to tell my joke again.
No, that's right. Yeah, that's we're getting closer to the 45-minute mark, so maybe start kind of wrapping things up. John, do you have any other pertinent questions you wanted to ask him before we start getting into sponsorships and all that sort of stuff?
No, that was really my major one. I just felt like Rogue was kind of a different approach than I had seen before, and I wanted to hear through a deadlifter's eyes and thoughts, kind of how that is perceived by the athlete. So that was really my main question.
Awesome.
Yeah, you may want to check with like an actual deadlifter on that one, because I'm like I said, I'm fine with it.
I would consider you a deadlifter though. You're deadlifting a lot of weight, especially for your body weight. So even if you're competing in the lightweights instead of the super heavyweights or something, I'd still consider you a deadlifter.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So do you have any sponsorships or anything that you'd like to shout out before we wrap all this up?
I don't. Like I said, I'm always supporting my guy Rob at New Jersey Muscle. Okay. Anywhere in North Jersey, he's not a commercial gym, but he's got everything you need for a little private strongman gym. And that's it. Other than that, I'm here to have fun, and that's what I've been doing so far in this sport.
Awesome. And if people are interested in following you, what's the best way to get a hold of you? You're on Instagram. Do you have a YouTube or anything like that?
I don't have a YouTube. It's Instagram. It's Alan Scott 486. I don't know. You guys have shared the videos and everything. So feel free to follow. Feel free to comment. That's it.
Awesome. And we'll pop it in the description below as well.
Okay. Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And I'm following you, and I'm excited to see what other stuff you're gonna post in future and see what else you have to add.
Next year, with the way things progress this year, like knock on wood, I still stay healthy. Next year should be a very interesting year.
Good. Awesome. Well,
and given your day job, I'll make sure to drive slowly through Warren County.
I work in Morris, so I'm even closer. So just be careful.
I will. I promise. I promise.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Once again, this is Isaac with Hunger Smash Fitness. We have Scott Baker, the infamous or famous, however you see it, bouncing deadlifter, I guess we could just say that. And John from My Block Strongest Man. So, thank you once again for joining us, and have a wonderful night. And just remember to always improve that 1%.